Yes, Mike, the opening ceremony of this year's S&ED is underway. President Xi Jinping has delivered a keynote speech, and China and the U.S. are building their new type of major power relations in accordance with agreements made by President Xi Jinping and Barack Obama. The China-U.S. relation is moving forward with some abrasions. Cybersecurity and East and South China Sea issues seem like the most urgent problems and need to be discussed. At this time, U.S. accused 5 Chinese military officials of cyber spying on U.S. companies, while China released a document reporting U.S. cyber attacks on China. In maritime territorial disputes, China opposes the U.S. provision of military assistance to Japan in its dispute with China over the Diaoyu Islands. The U.S. has also shown support for the Philippines and Vietnam in recent South China Sea tension, which prompted strong protests from China. On the other hand, cooperation between China and the U.S. is increasing rapidly. The RIMPAC exercise is underway, and for the first time, China has joined U.S.-led international maritime drills. China and the U.S. have also built up over 100 dialogue mechanisms covering various fields to aid cooperation and resolve conflicts. For example, just one day before the S&ED kicked off on Tuesday, China and U.S. diplomats met in Beijing for the 4th China-U.S. Strategic Security Dialogue under the S&ED framework. According to the Chinese Foreign Ministry, the two sides exchanged views in a candid, practical, and constructive atmosphere on issues of common concern, such as strategic and comprehensive security. Companies and research institutes from China and the United States on Tuesday signed deals on 8 joint projects for dealing with climate change. The deal marks some of the achievements of the China-U.S. Climate Change Working Group launched during U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry's visit to China last year and aimed at enhancing China-U.S. cooperation on climate change. Back to you, Mike.
We just saw President Xi with some live pictures of him still giving his address. This is the 6th year that China and the U.S. have held these dialogues. It's something obviously we know about here in Washington, D.C. It was held here last year. It's in Beijing now. But it seems like a wider international audience, this may be their first glimpse at this.
Yes, Mike, the dialogue is mechanism between China and the U.S. was established some time ago. The current S&ED dialogue combined and replaced those forums. In winter 2004, former Chinese President Hu Jintao and former U.S. President George W. Bush agreed to initiate a China-U.S. strategic dialogue. It was held 6 times, and 2 years later, both leaders also agreed to establish a China-U.S. strategic economic dialogue, and this was inaugurated by former U.S. Treasury Secretary Henry Paulson and former Chinese Vice Premier Wu Yi in Beijing in September 2006. It was held 5 times. And since establishment of the 2 mechanisms, China and the United States have conducted effective dialogues on issues of strategic importance. And finally, the current S&ED started in April 2009 under former Chinese President Hu Jintao and U.S. President Barack Obama during their first meeting in London on the sidelines of the G20 Financial Summit, hosting rotates between Beijing and Washington.